Okay, Thursday, 7th of March 2024. Day recap trade review for the ES and the NQ. What a ripper day in the market. Absolutely insane. The amount of strength. Crazy. I ended up break even. Not really my fault as such. It was some technical issues that I faced. Throughout the day, there was only really one solid opportunity, and there were a few others which I did not plan for. So since I did not pre-plan them, I still do not count them as valid opportunities, even though they were clearly defined levels and good areas of interest. Regardless, ES provided with nothing to say, and NQ provided with one beautiful opportunity, which I tried taking advantage of, but due to technical issues, ended out break even, and that was the low of the day. But regardless, let's go over the plans first, and then we'll see what happened throughout the day. So the plan was rather simple, mainly looking for longs. This was the key area of inflection that I was looking to take a trade off of. This was the point of liquidation break on Wednesday, the ledge of this profile that has been created over the last 7-8 days worth of balance. And both on Tuesday and Wednesday, we tried to stay higher. A little bit of nuance. We closed within this distribution both of the days. Wednesday we tried to go out of it and got liquidated in the afternoon and closed inside of it. And then today we found a bid again here overnight and started ripping higher. And while I was making the plan, we were just hanging around here in this distribution at the ledge, and the plan was basically simple. If we break in, we can break out and hold, go long. If we head fake it, or we just stay underneath, go short. This was my main level of interest that I wanted to gauge the auction around. I had some levels marked up here, but I wasn't looking to initiate a trade there, even though I was aware of this last upper ledge that we had. This is all yesterday's action, so this was all empty. Now, overnight, in the European session, we just found infinite bids, and we ended up rallying close to 60 points before opening. So we, rather than opening anywhere near the ledge, we took out the prior day's high, and we were opening on an 11-point gap up. Not a massive gap up, but considering from where we were coming, it was 60 points from the overnight low, and it was one straight shot higher. There was absolutely no stopping. They came here, they tested, looked underneath the prior lows, and they just ripped. Absolute crazy move overnight. And we decided to open right near this ledge, above the prior day's high. We open right here. So very simple plan. I was looking for here. I wasn't interested in a gap fill reversals just because we have come up 60 points, and then we just come back down 11 points and go long again. And the Wix wasn't necessarily selling off as such, even though it wasn't high up. It was obviously negative from prior day's close. Open a percentage point and a half negative, so obviously that supports the bull case regardless. still holding this support level, even though we were negative. So I wasn't sure where does it want to go, especially because NFP comes out tomorrow. Powell was testifying today. Within these news events, I was not sure, so I decided I would not take this Friday's high test as a gap fill reversal, but patiently wait here and then go back higher. One thing I should have missed, even though I didn't know that this is the case, maybe I could have analyzed better or realized better that if we are holding the Friday's high, we are not, we are pretty much holding this minor sort of ledge of this little distribution that was created in a day and a half or so. So it's not just the structural level that's holding, it's also the cumulative volume profile level that kind of suggests that okay, that's a good place. But still, it doesn't take away the fact that we have just rallied over 60 points and pulled back just 10 points, and I want to take a long going another 20, 30 points higher. Doesn't really make, obviously that happened, but doesn't really make a lot of sense. Similarly, in the NQ, it was while I was making the plan, polling towards this ledge. The ledge here is not the most clear in this profile, at least to say, whether the ledge starts here or the ledge really is here near the gap level of where it is. I decided to mark it here because this structurally also marked the point of liquidation break yesterday. Yesterday we tried to go above this distribution, held above for a certain period of time, and then just liquidated strong. So even though it's hard to pinpoint a really beautiful area for a ledge like it was here in ES or here in ES, a little bit of discretion here whether I should mark the ledge a little bit up higher, a little bit down lower. I decided to join to take advantage of some structure as well, and then kept it at this point of liquidation break, and also all of these kind of like balance highs for the upper edge of all of that 2-3 week balance. That was my main area I was looking to go long or short off of. And then obviously we opened on a massive, we broke higher insanely before opening. So longs were the way if we were to test it, although it was highly unlikely. And it actually did happen, and that was the long that I took. Regardless, the plan was long here. And if we can break under shots, and since even though we were breaking out of the ledge, since we have NFP tomorrow and whatever the little news with Powell, even though it didn't really change as such, nothing as such, because the written arguments were already laid out, so there wasn't much difference. This was an untested spike from the last time we sold off of here, and this was the little edge of this little 1.5 day balance up top. So I was aware of this level, but I wasn't looking to take a trade off of here, just like I wasn't looking for in the ES. And so very simple plans. Now going over what actually happened. So ES first opened right at this upper ledge, the last ledge that we had. Provided a nice little fade setup, but obviously I wasn't looking to initiate anything off of there. I did not take it, and provide pretty much the picture perfect gap fill reversal, which again I did not take, simply for the reasons that we are coming where we are coming from. This just a leg this high and then just like 1% retracement or whatever it is just way too shallow. But obviously the buyers were just insanely strong, and then we again struggled a little bit at this edge here. acted as resistance, not for long, 15 minutes, 10 minutes at the max. And we dipped higher, and that was that. Nothing really I could do off of on this because my level of interest that I wanted to take a trade off was down here. Now I did not take the gap fill reversal, which is okay with this context of a 60-point straight shot up. And then, yeah, that was really just, even though the levels worked quite nicely, nothing really set up according to my plan. And it happens, and that's that. What can we do? The level did work rather nicely, held pretty well. But ES really broke the all-time high first hour and a half, but there were really just no buyers there. And that was one kind of interesting sort of situation where you probe the all-time high and there are absolutely no buyers whatsoever for another couple of hours. So even though I wasn't looking to fade here, it's stupid to go against this freight train. I've tried this a couple of times before, it does not work. I've learned my lesson, so not trying to pick any tops, but regardless, these were good times. If you could get a sniper entry, so to say, that simply the lack of buyers, maybe we go a little bit down, but we don't really go, we don't really just, yeah, unable to sell off. At this point of time, I was actually not thinking of taking trade, but in my head, it was like maybe there's a liquidation break coming since we are probing the all-time highs and we are not getting any sort of extension. Buyers just don't want to come in. That was my thoughts. It's like a liquidation break will come soon. 105. We are right around here, somewhere here. We just sellers were trying to push, and buyers were not coming in. Maybe that was the point, but obviously we were strong. All of these sellers, they get absorbed. Decent bit of sellers down here. They all get taken, and we squeeze them higher. But again, we do not find that much initiative interest after squeezing these top colors, and we roll back down. And that was that. Overnight, this area got tested again. In the after hours, pretty much 15 minutes into the close, and obviously we are again ripping higher, although at a slower pace than yesterday. Back to new all-time highs. Now for the NQ, open up on an 11-point gap up, very small, but the overnight trend, we have gone over 250 points in a straight shot up. So there was nothing really I wanted to do here. Definitely not interested in this gap and go setup. Luckily, we got an extension down to the area of interest, which was this ledge, which I was not expecting to get given the strength, but sometimes things they just work out, and did happen. Did end up getting this thing, just tagged the level, touched it by a point. So again, kind of got lucky where I put my level exactly, because had it not touched even by 5 points, I would have never have considered taking that trade. So in some ways, not I won't just go and say that was the perfect level, I marked it perfectly. There was decent bit of luck involved that I just marked it right here at this point, and not a point under or a point over. Anyway, we got this bit, I got long. My data, latency fucking issues. I had a 20-second or 10-second delay in my data whatsoever. And then by the time I entered the trade, instead of entering down here, my usual entry, I entered up here. And As soon as I realized it, I immediately cut it off break even. I just took it off because it just made no sense. Obviously, looking at hindsight is the low of the day, but I do not know at this point of time that this is the low of the day. There's no way to know that that was low of the day, and especially since we are coming in the prior day's high after a gap up, so that would just not be a great thing to hold off, to hold on. Decent bit of not that strong, but decent bit of selling that brought us down here as well. Decent bit. So yeah, I entered at the low of the day, but exited immediately because of the data latency issues. I'm obviously not saying that I would have taken from low of the day to the high of the day, but even my regular 30 points is better than break even. But this went up so fast, it's most likely I would have had more. But it doesn't matter if I had just 24 regular 2 to 1. I ended up going break even because of the data latency issue. And my internet speed is like really rather damn fast. It's not much going on. I just can't say why these kind of issues they arise. But every time there's a sudden drop or there's a sharp rise in volatility or a flutter of volume that kicks in, I've noticed that data latency issues usually kick in at that time, so I'm not sure what to make out of it exactly. But it operates fine most of the time, but as soon as there's a kick in volume, there's sudden movement in price, like something happens and then the data starts to lag behind, and that's what happened today, and that's all we got. Other than that, these were decent opportunities here, but obviously I wasn't looking to take these ones again. And pretty much that was that throughout the entire day. Just like ES, this level kind of held. ES was the upper ledge, here is the lower ledge, but here we also had the spike. It did provide a little bit of resistance against this insane sort of strength. So this is probably the best you can get at this point of time. Not looking for trades there anyway, and then the level held rather nicely even after. So maybe I could have thought of taking trade, maybe not, but I would rather just stick to my plan than making plans on the go. And pretty much that was that the entire day. Took the low of the day and ended up break even, and nice little offer at close. Tested the Paradise high again, surprisingly, but obviously ripped up again. And now sitting at the highs. Kind of surprised that even with all of that strength, all of that range, we missed taking the all time high by 10 11 points. Surprising. 12 points, whatever. ES made a new all time high. And pretty much that's that. Now we are ripping up higher again, making new all time highs in the overnight session. It's just buyers really just have, they're just out of control. The best we get it is a couple of weeks worth of balance, and all balances that break to the upside since last October. Anyway, that's that. Awesome.